Area has also been featured in episodes of ER, The OC, and Without a Trace. But now as we head down the hill, we are going north of the border into an area called 6 Points, Texas. These are western streets that are very important, not just to us here at Universal, but really to all of Hollywood, because these are some of the oldest movie sets still standing. Some of these buildings were built as far back as 1914. Some of Hollywood's biggest cowboys got their start right here on these streets, although not everyone who got their start right here was necessarily a cowboy.
Did you know that more movies have been shot on these streets than any other spot in the world? Now, during the silent film era, they could shoot up to 6 movies at the same time, one on each one of these 6 streets. That's why it's called 6 Points, because each street had its own bank, its own sheriff's office, its own saloon, and its own hotel. Now, it turns out that this town is big enough for both of us. So get on back onto your tram stagecoach thing and get the heck out of here. Go on. Go on.
All right, okay, we're going. She gets touchy. She's a little weird. Whoopi likes to tell people about the area because she filmed her very first movie in 6 Points, Texas. That movie was The Color Purple, starring Oprah Winfrey, directed by Steven Spielberg. Now, you might recognize this body of water on your right-hand side as the Pacific Ocean, or the Atlantic Ocean, or the Mississippi River. It's been all three. We call it Park Lake. This is where Susan and Edie got rid of Mrs. Huber's ashes in the first season of Desperate Housewives. If we need to go underwater, we go to the tank over here on your left-hand side. That is our underwater tank, creative name. We fill that tank up with water, we drop the actors inside, and then we film what's going on through glass panels on the outside of the tank. So the actors swim around, but the camera stays nice and dry. Just another little trick. It's all about tricks. It's all about illusions and special effects. The guy who's the master of special effects these days is a gentleman by the name of Peter Jackson, who brought us the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the producer of the new film District 9, and of course, the new King Kong in 2005. Now, these photographs were all taken on the set of King Kong. The one thing I'd like you to notice about all these pictures is these environments are not complete. This one is. I like to freeze on this image. The boat is real. The water was added digitally. The sky was added digitally. The smoke coming from the smokestack, that was all added. It was all done with computers, except for the boat. When everything came together, it looked like this up on the big screen. Whoa! That's not quite what I said. So these guys don't know it yet, but they're about to meet King Kong. Peter Jackson created so many fantastic environments for King Kong that he would never have had the space or the time to actually build them all. So he came up with a brand new idea called a bigature. These bigatures are large-scale miniature environments that Jackson was able to film, and then he'd use blue screen or green screen technology as well as CGI to insert his actors into the scene. Here's that same boat again, up on your screens, and over to your left. Yeah, pick your feet up, guys. That's all Dennis, that's not me. Now if that boat were any smaller, we might keep it over here. We've got a lot of Japanese roadside items, signage and stuff. This is all left over from the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. We have a bunch of concrete benches and statues, like garden type furniture. Pretty stuff. There's some lampposts. If you got a good eye, you can see some parking meters. All this stuff and everything in this great big warehouse here, it's all part of our prop department. And a prop is anything an actor handles in a scene. It can be something tiny, like a toothpick or a paper clip, or it can be something really, really big, like a grand piano. If you were a prop director, you wanted to get props for this next area of the lot, you might want to grab some swords, some shields, maybe a chariot. I don't know. I don't know what you'd want to get. I do know that we are heading into the Square of Warriors. This was built in 1960 for Stanley Kubrick's Spartacus. This is the Square of Warriors as the city of Gomorrah in The Scorpion King, starring The Rock. also appeared as Carol Channing's backyard way back in Thoroughly Modern Millie back in the 60s. And it was where Princess Mia got married in the Princess Diaries 2, a royal engagement. It was the country of Genovia. So you guys are getting the idea. We do a lot of traveling around here. We go all over the world. We can even kind of travel through time, which is cool. We never leave our own backyard. We always stay right here in the back lot. And the place where we do the most traveling with the least effort is this little European village here. In Little Europe, we changed the country we're in just by changing the language on the signs. These streets have appeared as France, Spain, Germany, Italy, Austria. They've been Iran, Iraq, Africa, the Caribbean, you name it. These streets were the pirate village in all 3 of Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Johnny Depp and Orlando Bloom buckled their squash right around here. You can see these streets as Rome in Angels and Demons, starring Tom Hanks. And if you're a fan of Heroes on NBC, you remember the episode where they all packed up and went to India? Well, they didn't go to India, they came right here to Little Europe. But if you came to Little Europe back in the 1930s, things would look a lot spookier than they do today, because Little Europe was originally the home to all of Universal Studios' very famous, very frightening movie monsters. Dracula, the Wolfman, they all got their start in Little Europe. And actually, if you look real quick to your right, you can see one of our movie monsters right there. Look, it's the Invisible Man. Ha-ha. Y'all look. That was all me. I do it because the drivers like that joke, though. I didn't write it, I just stand by it. Now, we made horror movies around here in the 1930s. That was a big part of Universal Studios history. But times change. You know, nowadays superhero movies are very, very popular. Science fiction movies are making a real comeback. In the 1950s, it was movie musicals. That's what everybody was watching in the 50s. And in the 1970s, there was a really popular genre of disaster movies. Movies like The Towering Inferno and The Poseidon Adventure. And the reason that I mention those disaster movies is because I'm pretty sure we're going to get clearance to go inside Soundstage 50, where we are filming a disaster movie. Obviously not right now, or they wouldn't let us go through. The crew is taking the day off because it's Sunday, so they're letting us bring Tram through, which is very, very nice of them. They don't have to let us do this. So we're going to head on inside. And when we get inside, you'll see around us, we are in a subway station, so it's as if we're underground. And then up above us, what you can't see is that there's a San Francisco street scene up above. So they've actually built 2 sets, one on top of the other. And normally they would build these 2 separate sets on 2 separate sound stages, but in this case, because it is a big action movie, the director wanted to be able to run from one level to the other without making a cut. You can, uh-oh.